What do you do when your closest friend calls you at 3 a.m. and says the three words that will end everything you built together? Most people argue. Some hang up. Tupac Shakur did neither. New York City, Quad Recording Studios, November 29th, 1994. Tuesday night, 11:47 p.m. And in 8 seconds, a phone conversation will fracture hip-hop into two warring coasts and set in motion events that will end two lives before the decade closes. But let's rewind. Quad Recording Studios, 7th Avenue, Times Square District. The building is unremarkable from outside. Brick facade, metal door with an intercom, graffiti tag from kids who don't know legends are being made 3 floors up. Inside, the studio is what you'd expect from mid-90s New York hip-hop. Exposed brick walls covered with album plaques. A mixing board that costs more than most people's houses. Leather couches that smell like weed and cologne. Posters of Rakim, KRS-One, Nas. The air is thick. Cigarette smoke, incense burning somewhere. That particular smell of late-night creative energy when people have been working for 14 hours straight and refuse to leave until the track is perfect. Studio A is packed. 12 people crammed into a space designed for 6. Tupac Shakur sits on a rolling chair in front of the mixing console. He is 23 years old, 5'9", 165 pounds, lean muscle built from youth boxing and constant movement. He is wearing baggy jeans, Timberland boots, a white tank top, and a red bandana tied around his head. His arms are bare, showing the Thug Life tattoo across his abdomen when he leans back. Multiple rings on his fingers. A thick gold chain. But it is his eyes that dominate the room. Dark, intense, never still. Always watching, always calculating. He is working on tracks for his 3rd album, Me Against the World. The album that will be released while he is in prison. The album that will debut at #1 while he sits in a cell. But he does not know that yet. Right now, he's just grinding, trying to perfect a verse, trying to capture the anger and confusion that has been building in him for months. The session has been tense all night. Tupac's energy is different lately. Those who know him well can see it. He is more paranoid, more aggressive, quicker to anger. Something is shifting in the New York hip-hop scene, and Tupac can feel it even if he cannot name it yet. There are whispers, rumors, people saying he is too West Coast now, that he abandoned New York, the city that birthed hip-hop, that he is fake, that he sold out, that he thinks he is bigger than the culture. Stretch is there. Randy Walker, Tupac's friend, part of his crew. Freddie Moore, another associate. Some engineers. A couple of hangers-on who somehow got past security. Everyone is drinking, smoking, the usual studio atmosphere. But there is tension underneath. Conversations keep stopping mid-sentence. People checking their watches. The vibe is off. Tupac is listening to a playback. His voice comes through the massive studio monitors. That distinctive voice, slightly raspy, emotionally raw, every word delivered like it might be his last chance to say it. He is nodding his head, eyes closed, feeling the beat. Then he stops the track, rewinds, listens again, shakes his head. Nah, that ain't it, he says. His voice carries authority even when he is just talking. The delivery on that line, it's weak. I sound like I'm asking a question. I need to sound like I'm making a statement. The engineer nods, makes notes. They have been working on this one verse for 3 hours. That is Tupac's process. Obsessive perfection. He will record the same line 40 times until it feels right. Until the emotion matches the words exactly. The phone rings. Studio landline. Old school phone with a coiled cord, sitting on a side table among empty takeout containers and ashtrays. Nobody moves to answer it at first. Studio phone always rings. Usually wrong numbers or people trying to get in. But it keeps ringing. Persistent. Stretch picks it up. Quad Studios. He listens for a moment. His face changes. He looks at Tupac. Yo, it's Big. The room shifts. Everyone knows who Big is. Christopher Wallace. The notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls. The 22-year-old Brooklyn rapper who is about to explode into superstardom. More importantly, Biggie is Tupac's friend. Not just industry acquaintance, actual friend. They met 2 years ago. Tupac was already established, Biggie was still underground. Tupac took him seriously when nobody else would. Let Biggie open for him at shows. Gave him advice. Introduced him to important people. They hung out, smoked together, talked about their dreams. Biggie wanted to be the king of New York. Tupac wanted to be bigger than music, wanted to be a voice for people with no voice. They respected each other's hunger. Tupac takes the phone. "Big, what's good?" His voice is friendly but guarded. He has learned to be guarded with everyone lately. Biggie's voice comes through the phone. Deep, unmistakable. That Brooklyn accent. "Pac, we need to talk." "Where you at?" "Quad. Working on some tracks." "Why, what's up?" There's a pause. In that pause, Tupac hears something. Background noise. Voices. Not studio voices. Street voices. Biggie is not calling from home or a studio. He is calling from somewhere public. Somewhere with multiple people around. "I'm nearby," Biggie says. "I'm coming through. We need to have a conversation. Face to face." Tupac's instincts trigger. Something in the tone. Something in the phrasing. Conversation about what? Not on the phone. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. "Big, if you got something to say it now." Another pause. Longer this time. Tupac can hear his own heartbeat. The studio has gone completely silent. Everyone is watching him, reading his body language, trying to understand what is happening. "There's some shit going around," Biggie says carefully. "People talking, saying you've been saying shit about me. About Puff. About Bad Boy. I need to know if it's true." Tupac's jaw tightens. His hand grips the phone harder. Here it is. The thing that has been building for months. The invisible pressure that has been growing in the space between East Coast and West Coast hip-hop. The rumors, the politics, the money, the egos, all of it crystallizing into this one phone call. "Who's saying I'm talking shit?" Tupac's voice is harder now. Not friendly anymore. Controlled anger. "It don't matter who. Is it true? I don't talk about you, Big. Why would I? We're supposed to be brothers." "That's what I thought," Biggie says. "But people keep coming at me with your name. Saying you're claiming New York turned on you. That you're saying we're all fake. That you put me on and now I'm acting like I don't know you." Tupac stands up. The rolling chair slides back and hits the wall. His free hand is clenched into a fist. The engineer stops the playback. Complete silence now, except for Tupac's voice. "Did I say that? Did you hear me say those words?" His voice is rising. The anger that is always close to the surface, bubbling up. "No, but then why the fuck are you calling me at midnight, questioning me like I'm on trial? If I got something to say to you, I'll say it to your face. I don't move like that. You know how I move. That's why I'm trying to come see you. To talk this out before it becomes something." And there it is. The thing that will echo through hip-hop history. Before it becomes something. As if it's not already something. As if the machine has not already been set in motion. Record labels positioning their artists. Street crews choosing sides. Money and territory and pride all mixing into a toxic combination that neither Tupac nor Biggie fully control. Tupac breathes. Forces himself to calm down. He knows Biggie is not the enemy. Biggie is caught in the same machine. Two young black men who came from nothing, who used their talent to build something, now being pushed toward conflict by forces bigger than both of them. "Listen," Tupac says, his voice quieter now. "Come through if you want. We'll talk. But understand something, Big. I don't play games. If somebody got a problem with me, bring it direct. Don't send messages through other people. Don't play telephone with my reputation. That's all I'm trying to do. Come direct. I'll see you in a few." The call ends. Tupac hands the phone back to Stretch. He stands there for a moment, processing. Everyone in the studio is watching him, waiting to see how he will react. Tupac runs his hand over his face. Exhales slowly. "We're done for tonight," he says. Everybody out except Stretch and Fred. The hangers-on leave quickly. The engineers start packing up equipment. Within 10 minutes, the studio is nearly empty. Just Tupac, Stretch, and Freddie sitting in the now quiet space. The playback track is frozen on the computer screen. Work abandoned. The creative energy replaced by something darker. Anticipation. Dread. "You think he's really coming?" Freddie asks. Tupac is staring at the phone. "Yeah, he's coming. But I don't think he's coming alone." "What you mean?" I heard it in his voice. "He's under pressure. Somebody got in his ear. Somebody's telling him he needs to check me, needs to prove loyalty. Stretch lights a cigarette. So what we doing? We waiting here or we leaving? Tupac looks at him, and that look is everything that makes Tupac who he is. The pride that will not let him back down. The intelligence that knows he is walking into something dangerous. The loyalty that will not let him abandon his friend without at least trying to fix this. The fatalism that has always lived in him. The sense that he is destined for a short, bright life. We're waiting, he says. I'm not running from Big. If we want to talk, we'll talk. 23 minutes pass. The longest 23 minutes. They sit in the studio, not working, not talking much. Just waiting. Tupac is in his head, thinking about how it started. How he and Biggie used to be cool. How they talked about dominating hip-hop together. East and West united. How somewhere along the way, people started telling them they had to be enemies. The phone rings again. Tupac picks it up immediately. Yeah, it is not Biggie. It is the security guard from the front desk. His voice is urgent. Pac, there's like 8 dudes down here saying they're here to see you. One of them is Biggie, but I don't know the rest. You want me to send them up? 8 people. Biggie said, we need to talk, but he brought 8 people to a conversation. Tupac's instincts are screaming now. This is not a friendly visit. This is a show of force. Send them up, Tupac says. His voice is calm, deadly calm. The kind of calm that comes before violence. He hangs up, looks at Stretch and Freddie. They're coming up, 8 deep. We should bounce, Freddie says. This don't feel right. We're not bouncing. Tupac's voice has that edge now. The edge that means arguing is pointless. We're going to talk. That's what he wants, right? To talk. But his hand moves to his waistband. Checking. Making sure. In 1994 New York, a successful rapper does not move around without protection. Tupac has a weapon. He always has a weapon. Not because he wants to use it, but because he knows the world he lives in. Knows that fame does not protect you. Money does not protect you. Only awareness and preparation protect you. They hear footsteps in the hallway. Multiple sets of feet. Heavy boots on tile floor. Voices low and tense. Then the studio door opens. Biggie walks in first. Christopher Wallace. 6 feet 3 inches, close to 300 pounds. Wearing a Coogie sweater, baggy jeans, Timberlands. His face is hard to read. That is Biggie's gift. He can keep his emotions locked down. But his eyes find Tupac immediately, and in those eyes, Tupac sees it. Conflict, pressure, the weight of whatever conversation happened before this conversation. Behind Biggie, 7 other men file into the studio. Tupac recognizes some of them. Street dudes, not rappers, not artists. Muscle, protection, message senders. The energy in the room changes instantly. What could have been a conversation between friends is now a confrontation. A display. A test. Nobody says anything for 5 seconds. The 2 groups facing each other. Tupac, Stretch, and Freddie on one side. Biggie and his 7 on the other. The studio suddenly feels very small. Tupac breaks the silence. This is how we're doing this? You said you wanted to talk. I didn't know talking required an audience. Biggie shifts his weight. I brought my people. You got yours. I got 2 friends. You got a whole squad. That's not the same thing. One of the men behind Biggie steps forward. Tupac does not know him. Tall, dark-skinned, wearing all black. His hand is in his jacket pocket. He looks at Tupac with open hostility. We heard you've been talking reckless. Running your mouth about people you shouldn't be talking about. Tupac's eyes lock onto him. I don't know you, so I definitely haven't been talking about you. Biggie, you gonna let random niggas speak for you now? Biggie's jaw tightens. Chill. We're just here to clear the air. Then clear it. What do you want to say to me? The tension is nuclear. 8 seconds have passed since Biggie walked through that door. 8 seconds that feel like 8 hours. The air is so thick with potential violence that everyone is breathing shallow, hands hovering near waistbands, bodies coiled. And in those 8 seconds, Tupac makes a decision. He has 2 choices. Back down, apologize for things he did not say, accept this humiliation in front of these men, preserve the friendship, but lose his pride. Or stand firm, refuse to be intimidated, defend his name, and accept that this friendship might be over. You know what? Tupac says, his voice cutting through the tension like a blade. I've been in this game long enough to know when I'm being set up. This isn't about clearing air. This is about you proving something to these niggas behind you. Proving you're loyal to the streets, to New York, to whoever's pulling your strings. You want to check me? Check me. But understand this, Big. After tonight, we're not friends. We're not brothers. We're just two dudes who used to know each other. The words hit Biggie like physical blows. His face changes. For just a moment, the mask drops, and you can see the pain there. Because he knows Tupac is right. He knows he brought too many people. He knows he let outside voices poison something that was real. But pride will not let him admit it. Not here. Not in front of these men who are watching, judging, waiting to see if Biggie is soft. That's how you want it. Biggie's voice is quiet, hurt underneath the hardness. That's how you made it, Tupac says. You made the choice when you walked in here with an army to have a conversation. Another man from Biggie's crew speaks up. Yo, we don't have to listen to this. We can handle this right now. And there it is, the moment. The point where talking ends and something else begins. Stretch and Freddie move closer to Tupac. Biggie's crew tightens up. Hands are definitely in pockets now. The studio that was making art 2 hours ago is now a powder keg with multiple lit matches. But Biggie raises his hand. Nah, we're leaving. He looks at Tupac one last time. You're right. I shouldn't have come like this. But understand, Pac. It's not me. It's the situation. It's the business. It's everybody around us pushing us into corners. Then push back, Tupac says. Don't let them use you. Like you're pushing back. Biggie's voice has an edge now. You're doing exactly what they want. Burning bridges. Making enemies. Playing into it. I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. They stare at each other. Two brilliant artists. Two young men from broken homes who found their voice and their power through music. Two friends who could have changed hip-hop together. And in this moment, in this studio, with too many people and too much pride and too many outside influences, that friendship dies. Biggie turns and walks out. His crew follows. The last man out looks back at Tupac, points 2 fingers at his own eyes, then points at Tupac. The universal gesture. I'm watching you. The door closes. Silence. Tupac stands there, his hand still near his waistband, adrenaline screaming through his body. Stretch exhales loudly. Yo, that was almost something very bad. It is something very bad, Tupac says. It just hasn't finished happening yet. He is right. 30 minutes later, Tupac, Stretch, and Freddie leave the studio. They take the elevator down to the lobby. The elevator doors open. 3 men are waiting in the lobby. Not Biggie's crew. Different men, wearing masks, and they're holding guns. The robbery happens in seconds. Tupac is shot 5 times. Twice in the head, twice in the groin, once in the hand. Stretch and Freddie are ordered to the ground. The robbers take jewelry, money, and disappear into the New York night. Tupac survives. He will check himself out of the hospital the next day against doctor's orders. He will appear in court in a wheelchair for his sexual assault trial. He will be convicted and sent to prison. And during that prison sentence, he will become convinced that Biggie knew about the robbery, that the phone call was a setup, that the conversation was designed to keep him in the studio long enough for the shooters to get in position. Whether that is true or not, we will never know. Biggie denied it until his death. Tupac believed it until his. The friendship ended that night in Quad Studios. And 18 months later, on September 7th, 1996, Tupac will be shot again, this time fatally, in Las Vegas. 6 months after that, on March 9th, 1997, Biggie will be shot and killed in Los Angeles. 2 murders never solved. 2 generational talents gone before 30. But it started in that studio, with a phone call. With 8 seconds when Tupac looked at his friend surrounded by strangers and made a choice. Stand on principle or bend to pressure. Protect his pride or preserve a friendship. And once that choice was made, everything that followed was inevitable. The lesson is not about loyalty. It is not about East Coast versus West Coast. It is not about who was right or who was wrong. The lesson is about how easily real relationships are destroyed by outside forces. How pride and fear and pressure from people who do not care about you could take two friends and turn them into enemies. How the music industry, the streets, the culture, all of it will eat its children if they let it. Tupac knew this. Even as he stood his ground that night, he knew. In interviews years later, people would ask him about Biggie. Even after everything, even believing Biggie betrayed him, Tupac would say, Big was talented. He could have been the greatest. We could have been the greatest together. And Biggie, in his final interviews, when asked about Tupac, would go quiet. Would say, that was my dude. I wish we could have fixed it. I wish we had more time. But they did not have more time. Time ran out in 8 seconds. In a phone call at midnight. In a decision to bring too many people to a private conversation. In the moment when two young men let the world dictate their friendship instead of fighting to protect it. Quad Recording Studios still exists. The building is still there on 7th Avenue. People still make music there. And sometimes, late at night, engineers say they feel something in Studio A. A heaviness. A sense of unfinished business. Two voices that should have made history together, silenced too soon. A friendship that could have changed hip-hop, destroyed by 8 seconds when pride mattered more than love.